Hello and welcome to our new series of minisodes with author and social media strategist Zoe Lea. It's great to have you with us, Zoe. Would you like to start by introducing yourself to our listeners and watchers?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Nikki. And it's lovely to be here. So my name's Zoe Lea and I am the author of two psychological thrillers, The Secretary and If He Wakes. And I'm also a social media strategist, particularly for authors. So I help authors and writers sell their books via social media.
Oh, that's brilliant. But yes, each mini-sode will be around 10 minutes long. And we'll focus on all the do's and don'ts of social media and how to grow followers and sell books. So without further ado, let's get started.
Welcome everybody to Minisode 4, which today we're talking about Instagram and Instagram Reels. It's become a huge platform, obviously Instagram, and with some of the current uncertainty around Twitter, depending on what Elon feels like he's doing today, I've seen a lot more authors turning to Instagram. So Zoe, can I start by asking, why is Instagram such a great platform for authors?
Well, like you said, it's been around for quite a while, so a lot of people trust it. It's a go-to for quite a lot of people, even with all the changes that Instagram's had, and even with all the backlash, it's still a lot of people's favorite platform. And I think what you see with Instagram that you don't see with TikTok or maybe to extent Facebook or whatever, but people seem to do a lot more in the DMs in Instagram. There seems to be a bigger sense of community in Instagram. So I find for me personally, a lot of people will see me on TikTok and then they'll come over and chat to me on Instagram, which I find really interesting. So there's obviously still a little bit of that distrust about using TikTok messages that there isn't there on Instagram. So it's a great way to build up your community and to talk to your readers as well, to build up that connection.
That's true. So I find Instagram a bit daunting. I said in one of the earlier minisodes that I struggle to know what to post on Instagram, because on Twitter I could just say how my day is going, but on Instagram it's a picture, and I have such a boring life that I struggle to this is me in the gym again, and this is me at my laptop again, and I worry that I haven't got enough content really. So is there a particular look that we as authors should be aiming for on our grid on Instagram, or does anything go?
I think that there used to be, ages ago, it used to be that you had to have your grid had to be perfect. Were you on Instagram when it's that it was
no, I wasn't on it then. It's fine.
I wasn't. No, mine never was like that. Yeah.
It was I need something with the colour pink on my grid to get it out and all evenly. And people used to go for checkerboard effects and all that. And I think those days have gone. I think that that's one really good thing that TikTok brought to the table was can we just all be a bit more authentic? Stop all this, as you would say, the Instagram photo where everybody was posing. So I think those days have gone. Having said that, back to what we went to before about, remember the content pillars and keeping it on brand. So let's say that you wrote a thriller about a gardener who was killing people with poisonous plants, for instance, and your content pillars were stuff about the plants that were poisonous, because that was interesting to your readers, your writing process, other things. If suddenly a picture popped up of you on a night out in the middle of all of that, it would knock everybody sideways. You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, here's, I was discussing about the book, we're looking at the other, oh my gosh, there's a drunken picture of her out on a night out, Why are you looking so shocked?
I know, I'm never out.
I'm never out, but there's definitely random posts of me walking down my road and things like that. Yeah.
I think it is important to, because you're all about, just remember, you're there for a reason. You are enjoying yourself, but you are an author promoting your book. So you do want to make the connections, you do want to build the community, but let them know what to expect. So when they come to your page, they can trust you, because that's what it takes to ultimately make a sale. They need to trust where they're going to and trust you. So when you say sign up to my newsletter, they'll go, of course, Nikki, I'm going to sign up to your newsletter because this is what I'm getting for social media. I know I'll get more of it in your newsletter. Sign me up. So that's what you want. And so I think if you do that, you're fine.
Okay. I'm learning a lot.
You're telling you both off sometimes. Your face is
I do think me and Nikki are just because I think Nikki and I are quite similar on social media, and that we know we're not experts, but we also don't see ourselves as novices. We think we get quite a lot okay, and I think we're both just realizing that we're actually still a bit rubbish.
I don't want to make you feel that way at all. I mean,
no, not rubbish. I guess I feel like there's so much more I should be doing that I'm not, and stuff that's so easy to do as well. And I do know this stuff, and I think it just isn't natural for me. And I think I need to change my mindset slightly with social media and think much more about strategy and my
It's definitely strategic, isn't it? A bit more.
It's all very good, but going back to what I said at the beginning, if you are enjoying yourself and it comes across as authentic, that will work as well, just so long as you're enjoying yourself. So if your feed is all about your cat or your dog and people go, yeah, I love that author because, you know, we've both got dogs, and that could work as well. So even though I'm telling you how to get the best out of it, it's still social and it's still there to be enjoyed. You know, I don't want to be like, oh, I must be doing this today.
Get a plan, regimented. No, I agree.
It's just things to kind of bear in the back of your mind, I guess, isn't it? And I was told once that Twitter hashtags aren't as important anymore, but on Instagram I still see kind of everyone's posts have got hashtags in. And is that something that we should be doing, including hashtags? Does that still work with the algorithm?
Yes, I think so. I don't think they're as important as they used to be, because I think all social media is going over to SEO, which is the keywords. So when you do your caption under any post, the keywords of like my thriller book, that this tends to pick up more on that. But in Instagram, I think hashtags still work, and I always put them on because why not? Like, you know, don't be spammy, don't put loads of hashtag on, but it's a good way for the algorithm to see where to put your book, and always put them in a post. It used to be that you could put them in a comment, but you've got to put them underneath the caption in your post now. So yes, I would use hashtags on Instagram.
Okay. And when should we put something on a story, and when should we put it on an actual post? Like we were laughing a bit earlier, but you know, if I go out for a walk or something, I will often take a photo of a nice scenic photo, but I would put that on a story rather than put it on a post. So my work related stuff I tend to stick on a post, but other, you know, nice stuff I'll just stick on a story. Is that what I should be doing? Or?
Yes, absolutely. Stories are there to be like the more personal side of you. Like, this is what I'm doing now, this is where I'm going, all the rest of it. But it's changed slightly in stories where it doesn't show it to, they're not searchable, I don't think, as much as they used to be. You'll notice that your story views may have gone down. So I would still say use it to about 80-20%. So still put bits on of like, and I do it all the time, oh, I'm in a lovely restaurant. That's great stuff for the stories, because we're all curious, we're all nosy. And if you see in somebody's feed and you just see behind the curtains a little bit, then it's lovely, because, you know, you're like, oh, you get to know somebody a bit more. But don't forget to use stories as well to still push your book and still, you know, provide value, still providing somebody that's, you know, that somebody's going to come along and what they're going to get out of your stories. You can sort of like, they're going to be interested in a nice restaurant that I'm going to, but then your next post might be, and here's a great book that I'm reading. Gosh, if you read thrillers, read this book as well. You know, you're just providing that value. So, but yeah, what you're doing is absolutely fine.
Gold star for King.
Less scenery though, and more strategy, I think. Yes.
And how do Instagram Reels work? Obviously, it's their way to compete with the TikTok element, so videos. So how do they work on Instagram, and can they work alone without people using TikTok? Can you just be a poster of Reels on Instagram?
Oh gosh, yeah. It's just a short form video. So it's exactly the same as, you know, TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So I would say if you prefer Instagram and you're doing Instagram, then go ahead, just do the Instagram, but don't forget, you can always repurpose that content. So if you wanted to have, I'm just on Instagram, but when I've got my planner, I'll just do a couple on YouTube Shorts and I'll do some on TikTok, just to keep those ticking over. That would be fine. The setup of the short form video is the same as Instagram Reels as it is in TikTok. You've just got the setup and the payoff. That's short form video. So go ahead. If Reels is your thing, stick to Reels.
I've just got one final question here, and I can't remember already if you talked about this in the last Minisode or in this one, but you mentioned removing the TikTok watermark before posting it on to Instagram, repurposing it for like the Reels. Why is it so important to remove the watermark? Because I see a lot of people, myself included, who don't do this. So why is it so key to remove the watermark?
Because it won't, the algorithm, when you put it to, and it's still got the watermark, so let's say you downloaded from Instagram and you put it onto TikTok, the AI in the TikTok algorithm would spot that watermark from Instagram, it would see it that you were promoting Instagram and it would downgrade your TikTok. So it works the other way as well. So your reach wouldn't be as big. Having said that, though, I have seen viral videos that escape that and get through it. So I am there on the side of caution. And also, if I'm on another platform, I don't think it looks nice, because you just want a clean video on that platform.
Okay, but it's quite important.
And do you have to use a particular? How do you get rid of it? Are there apps that just get rid of it? Or?
There's 2 websites that I use, and I don't know whether I'm allowed to recommend them. But one is I don't know.
Yeah, go for it. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you want to get rid of the TikTok watermark, then I would say use SnapTik. But use the desktop version and be aware of all the adverts and different things that will pop up, because it is a free thing. So you are going to be shown adverts. So you're just downloading it without the thing. And I think the one from Instagram is called Instafinsta, I think.
Okay.
But I need to check up on that. But basically, a Google search will tell you these apps, these the things. They are well used. Everybody uses them.
Oh, cool.
Brilliant.
But sadly, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you for listening to our Minisode with social media strategist Zoe Lea. And thank you, Zoe, for sharing your expertise with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I've loved chatting with you two always, so thank you.
Oh, it was lovely to have you, Zoe. And I should remind our listeners that Zoe is the best-selling psychological fiction author of If He Waits and Secretary, both of which available to buy right now. And Zoe is also a social media strategist. So for more information and how to see how Zoe might be able to help you, sign up for her weekly newsletter, which is full of social media tips for authors on Substack under the Author's Guide to. Or you can go and have a look at her website, which is at zoelee.com, and that's LEA.com.
And all the links are in the descriptions of this episode, no matter where you're watching or listening. But that's it for us. So it's a goodbye from Zoe.
Bye.
And it's a goodbye from us. Goodbye.
Bye.